Good evening. As we're joining here at the 6 o'clock hour, we'll wait just a few more minutes before we officially get started to let others join into the session as well. I'll briefly introduce myself now, but of course I'll introduce myself when we officially get started also. I'm Dr. Nathan Baird, and I'm glad to be with you this evening. Several of you are coming from all over the place, so it's really intriguing the way we can gather together in this full way on this webinar. Perhaps you've had a number of experiences like this, whether in your current schooling situation or whatever it would be, but we're well into this semester where we're very familiar on our end as well with interacting in this virtual environment. And so we'll give it just another minute or so before we get going with our presentation, as more people are joining into our gathering overall. And I'll just mention again, as we wait for a few more people to log in, there's a way that you can submit questions as we're going. So what I'm going to do during the presentation is I'll be pausing at three different times during the presentation to address any questions. But the way you can ask questions is by typing into the Q&A box. For example, that should be near the bottom of your screen. You can type in your question at any time, and then when we pause for questions, I'll field those questions. I'll see them written there in that Q&A box and then be able to address them. And so rather than just waiting to the end, I want you to feel free to include your questions as we go. And so I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing my screen, the presentation. And introduce myself once again to everybody. I'm Dr. Nathan Baird. I'm an associate professor of biochemistry and an interim department chair of the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry here at the University of the Sciences. I'm really glad to visit with you this evening for these minutes that we have, so I can introduce to you the different activities at our department. And specifically, I want to focus on 3 C's, if you will. I want to focus on our curriculum. I want to focus on what type of careers our graduates go on to pursue. I want to focus on the culture here within our department so that you can get a well-rounded view of what would your educational experience be here at the University of the Sciences. Now together as a department, what we work on, faculty, staff, and students together, is working to discover your passion and discover your future. Many students come with some interests when they start, when they're pursuing college and when they start their education in our department. But we really help to refine students as they're exploring what their interests are overall. And actually what I want to do on this slide here is show you kind of a picture of our class of 2017, the diversity of careers that they pursued, the diversity of interests that they had, and overall, as I mentioned, through the culture and the togetherness that they experienced, the learning that they were able to achieve. A number of them went on to, as you can see on this slide, PhD programs at excellent institutions. Others became technicians in various industries locally as well as a number of students going on to dental school or master's programs, for example, in forensic science as shown down here. But also one student went on to an MBA in marketing. Another student went on to law school. So you can see there's a great diversity of career options, and we'll touch on that a little bit more in the presentation as well. But again, I mentioned those 3 C's, the curriculum, the career opportunities, and the culture really help our students feel together as a unit as they grow from their freshman year to their senior year, and then as they launch into their careers. And so I want to start by highlighting for you our curricula and our degree programs, specifically paying special attention to the role of research in your education here at the University of the Sciences. So within our department, we have 3 specialized undergraduate programs, a major in biochemistry, major in chemistry, and a major in pharmaceutical chemistry. And each of these degree programs have an option to become certified by the American Chemical Society. That's based on the rigor and the laboratory experiences that our students are able to take part of during their 4 years in the institution. And again, before I go too much further, I want to reiterate that at any point that you have questions as we're going, here we're going through our curriculum, next we'll be going through career opportunities, and at the end we're going through culture. At any point that you have a question, go ahead and use the Q&A tab down on the bottom. of your screen to go ahead and type that question in now. And I'll be pausing at a couple of points throughout the webinar to address any of those questions that you may have. In addition to the certified degree options by the American Chemical Society, our biochemistry program is actually accredited by the American Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. And I just want to highlight that we were one of the first, I believe, 35 institutions that were able to be vetted for that program, achieving that high standard. And so it's really a great testament to the longstanding rigor and the longstanding training that is available to our students in those programs. So why chemistry at USciences? Well, we have a faculty to student ratio of about 1 to 4, and we have faculty members covering all diverse areas of expertise within the areas of chemistry: analytical chemistry, biochemistry, physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and into much finer details as well. And really the way we're able to do that is it falls under the name of our institution. We are the University of the Sciences. And therefore, in our chemistry department, we are actually teaching on average 90% of the students who come to the university. So in order to do that, we need to have a very diverse faculty. And that also is of great support to the specific students who major in one of our majors. And so really, at USciences, you get the best of two worlds. You get the small college atmosphere with a low student to faculty ratio, but you get the expertise and facilities of a large research institution. I want to highlight the fact that research is really a hallmark of our programs here in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. It's the core element of the our educational programs. And so you really need to get your hands kind of into things to be able to learn in a way that's beyond just sitting in a classroom. Certainly we have didactic courses, we have laboratory courses, but we also have excellent research opportunities for you as a student to really engage with the knowledge, to discover the knowledge. And you can do that alongside PhD students, you can do that alongside of faculty and postdoctoral scholars, staff, scientists, that is. And those research opportunities are available around year-round. So many students actually stay and do research over the summer as well. And you can do that for course credit. You can do that, for example, for work study or for pay as a research technician, or you can do that as a volunteer. So there are many different avenues in which students participate in that. And I want to briefly just highlight for you a number of the instrumentation, pieces of instrumentation that we have within the department that our students get hands-on experience with. Now, good for you, there's no quiz at the end of this. You don't need to know what all these instruments do. In fact, this might be the first time you've heard of some of these instruments. But what it is during your 4 years at USciences, you would come up close and personal with how do these instruments work? What kind of data do we obtain? How do we analyze the data? And of course, then that sets you up for success in your future career goals as well. So here I'm showing some experimental techniques that are used primarily in a biochemistry laboratory, a calorimeter, I call it the world's most sensitive thermostat, an FPLC and HPLC. These are also used not only in biochemistry, but in chemical research. Here is a custom-made ellipsometer and an atomic force microscope, both looking at the molecular level details, for example, of chemical surfaces, and large computer clusters for those of you who might be interested in computationally based research. And then finally, two other additional instruments that I want to draw to your attention are really high-end, really specialized instrumentation. Here on the left is an NMR, a nuclear magnetic resonance instrument. We have two of those instruments in our department. And on the right here is a picture shown of our Orbitrap mass spectrometer, or MS. Again, there's no quiz at the end of this session. We're really just trying to introduce you to the great resources available to you within the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry here at the University of the Sciences. Our students have such great training on these that when they launch into, whether it's graduate school, job and industry, medical school, etc., they're ready with that critical thinking and that know-how of how to use these instruments, analyze data, and make advances in the community. And so what is research really? It's really working on diverse projects that our students then present at national conferences, they publish in scientific journals, and often they win national awards, both at the individual level as well as at the collective level. And so research is such a strong hallmark within our department that it's like a cultural norm, I would say. And so we have much greater than 90% of our graduates for every year during their educational experiences here in our department they participated in research. So it's a very, very high percentage. Nearly everyone participates in some aspect of research. Again, just to expand learning opportunities. I'll show you a brief video here.
Hi, Nathan. The sound isn't
Yes.
coming over for the video.
Oh, shoot. Then we're going to pause it. Thank you, Gary, for that update. We're going to pause it, and I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment and make sure that I double check the setting. Thank you for informing me of that. All right. Let's go back now. And now let's try this and see a video about research in our department.
My sophomore year of high school, I took my first chemistry class. I fell in love with it. It was something that I realized that I really wanted to pursue in college. I really knew that I wanted a smaller school because I didn't really want to be someone who just got lost in the crowd. A lot of the chemistry classes that I'm taking have a max of around 20 to 30 students, so you really get that one-on-one time with the professor, but at the same time you get all the benefits of living in a city. In the chemistry department, they really urge you to do undergraduate research, and they want you to find something that you really love. I'm doing undergraduate research in Dr. Concho's lab. We're trying to take this drug called phosphaminomycin and make different analogs for it that will make it more effective for its purpose of destroying different bacteria. Undergraduate research is important for me because in lecture, you really don't know how to apply what you've learned in the lessons to real life situations. So now you have to take those and apply them to a certain problem that you have to try to solve in research. USciences Chemistry department really puts a focus on the students. The professors really want to help you. They want you to do well. They want to get the best out of you. I'm going to get my PhD in chemistry, and then from there I can either go into being a professor at a university or I can go work in industry. All the windows are wide open for me. My name is Brian Fagula. I'm a senior chemistry major at University of Sciences.
Great. So Brian actually, upon graduation, went on to pursue, and he is pursuing his PhD in chemistry at Georgetown. Towards the end of that video, there were two other students also tossing the football as they walked through the quad. Oleg is pursuing his PhD at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And Joey already completed his master's in public health and is now applying to medical schools. I saw him actually about a year ago. Last fall, he was checking in, and I connected him with our pre-med advisory group here on campus as well. So we got some resources there after graduating. So I want to pause here for just a minute and take your questions. I see one question in the Q&A. It says, what are the class sizes like in lab versus lecture? And so, for example, within our chemical sciences department, whether you major in chemistry, biochemistry, or pharmaceutical chemistry, you'll be in courses that are approximately about 30 students. In a lab session, it'll be probably about half of that because we need more specialized attention and one instructor to walk around and such. But approximately 30 students will be in most of your classes for your first 2 years. As you move into the more advanced years, then the chemistry majors take some courses and the biochemistry majors take some other courses, and pharm chem likewise taking other courses. And so in those courses, in the upper divisions, they're even smaller. So as you're getting that really specialized knowledge, you're getting a much more personalized interaction with your professor as well. So our professors have office hours, and students are regularly reaching out to them during those office hours during all 4 years. But really, that type of connection that you're able to have with your professors is really marvelous here at the University of the Sciences. We're a small school, and the faculty have chosen to be professors at this type of school because they enjoy those types of interactions. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions at this point in the Q&A, but again, feel very free to jot your questions down in that Q&A box or in that chat box, and we'll get to them because like I mentioned, we'll have 2 more times of having questions as we go. So what career opportunities are you looking for? When I was in your shoes thinking about college, I knew I liked science, and I thought if I liked science, I better become a medical doctor. Well, as you can guess, I'm not now a medical doctor, but I began to explore new opportunities while I was in college. And so in fact, one of the hallmarks of our institution, one of the hallmarks of our department, but our institution also, within our department, our faculty are really focused on helping each individual student find their career success. So our curriculum in each of the 4 years, we have a course that really helps the students progress in thinking about next steps, thinking about what skills do I need to develop, thinking about presentation skills, thinking about job writing and resume building, things like this. And so we do that throughout our curriculum to make sure that our students are set and established. When they get to that 4th year, they're ready to take that next step upon graduation. And again, the research and internship opportunities that become available to students, both within our department, as well as the connections that we have to industries in the area, are really great opportunities for students to kind of discover what it is they're interested in and what they want to pursue. So this really, as it says there on the bottom, this combination of personalized attention throughout our curriculum, but also exposure to research, it really results in our graduates being very successful in attaining positions that fit their career goals. And highlighting for just a moment our pre-health program who I mentioned just a few minutes ago, headed by Dr. Grace Farber and Judy Chen, they're able to provide personalized and individualized pre-health advising. As you come in, for example, as a freshman, you can meet with them on what are the metrics and what are the goals you want to achieve during that freshman year to be on course for your pre-med goals or your pre-vet goals or your pre-dental goals, pre-health overall. And again, we have unique expertise here at the University of the Sciences. Our president, Dr. Paul Katz, has years of experience at multiple different institutions. Again, he was the founding dean at Cooper Medical School at Rowan University. But overall, we have a lot of faculty and staff with medical and other healthcare degrees and experience in those areas to really help shore up the learning that our students have while they're here on our campus. So what sets our pre-health program apart? Kind of what sets the chemistry department apart overall. Great research opportunities, great connection in this University City area of Philadelphia next to Penn and UPenn hospital system, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, next to Drexel, next to the University Science Center. A lot of great opportunities for students to really explore what they might be interested in with regards to their career next steps. So really in our department, well over 50% of our graduates go on to pursue graduate or professional degrees at really top-notch institutions. I mentioned that Brian is now at Georgetown. His buddy Oleg is at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and other buddy Joey already completed his master's in public health at Johns Hopkins University. So what we know is that our students rather, are well prepared when they leave here to go on and be successful. I'll tell you a brief story of a transfer student who came to our department in his 3rd year. He had been a chef, decided he wanted to go back to school and learn science a bit more, went to the Community College of Philadelphia for 2 years, then transferred here to the University of the Sciences and majored in chemistry. Really got deeply involved in research, learned excellent things both in the classroom and in the lab setting. When he finished, he was accepted into the University of California at Berkeley, one of the top chemistry PhD programs in the nation. And so really, whether a student comes and starts from their freshman year all the way to their senior, or comes out as a transfer student, they're able to jump into and really take full advantage of their education and their preparation to go to top programs, whether it's medical school programs, PhD programs, master's programs, or top positions in companies as well, entry positions in companies. And you might see this at other university presentations, other University of the Sciences presentations. The Department of Education College Scorecard in 2018 ranked us #1 in the area for salary after graduation. So really what you see is through your USciences education in chemistry, biochemistry, and pharmaceutical chemistry in our department, there's proven results of what you can do with your success. So I want to pause just for a moment again and take a look if there's any additional questions with regards to career opportunities. We touched base on our curriculum. We talked briefly about career opportunities. the diversity of careers that our students pursue. And in just a moment, I'm going to talk about the culture and some of the specific stories about some of our students and what they pursued while here at the department, but also after graduating. And seeing no questions here, maybe I will just go ahead into that next segment. Again, we'll have a time for Q&A after that segment also. All right. What kind of study abroad opportunities do you offer? Well, I know that we support our students to pursue a number of different opportunities, whether it's relating to research and internships at other institutions, or whether it's relating to study abroad opportunities. I know, for example, that in our honors program, there are opportunities for our students to be studying abroad on like group trips and things of that sort. But really what I would say overall is it depends on what the student would be looking for. And so when our student is looking for a specific type of experience, a certain type of educational program experience in a different location or in a different country, we work with students to really figure out how can that help you achieve your career goals. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward into asking you a rhetorical question. You know, what kind of department culture are you looking for? You want to certainly find in a college experience great curriculum. You want to learn excellent information from experts in their fields. You want to make sure that the outcomes will be strong and there's proven outcomes that when you graduate, you're going to be able to get a job, you're going to be well trained. But you also want to be able to do that in an environment where you feel supported, you know you can go ask questions when you have them, and there are people who are paying attention to your successful progression year over year. So I want to tell you a few stories about our students and our alumni, starting off with Borna Novak and Tori Lugiano, both from our graduating class of 2019. Both very different paths. Borna is an international student. While he was here at University of the Sciences, he was on the tennis team. He participated in research all 4 of his years. And in fact, he published 3 papers during his college career here. And in the end, he was named the undergraduate, he received the Undergraduate Founders Day Award for Excellence in Research. And really, after all of those successes, he applied to a number of MD, PhD programs. That's a combination medical doctor and Doctor of Philosophy program. And these programs are highly competitive, especially for international students. And Borna was one of 19, I believe it was, students who were accepted with a full ride scholarship to Washington University in St. Louis to their MD, PhD program. That program receives several hundred, I believe it's 600 or so applications per year. It's a highly competitive market to get into. And Borna was one of, like I said, I believe it was about 19 students who joined in their program in the fall of 2019 after graduating here in the spring of 2019. Now let me shift and tell you a little bit about Tori. I had the great opportunity of visiting with Tori right towards the end of her time here, asking her, you know, reflecting on your 4 years, tell me about your experience. And she shared some very personal accomplishments as well as some very personal struggles, which are actually highlighted in an article on our website. If you're interested in that, you can go to our usciences.edu website and just search Tori's name, or for that matter, you can search Borna's name also. Tori shared with me that she had some difficulties. In fact, when she told her mom in high school that she wanted to go get a bachelor's degree in chemistry, her mom said, well, that sounds great, but you're gonna have to find a way to pay for it. So Tori worked full-time all 4 years of her college degree, college education. Make no mistake, that is a very challenging task. Full-time work and full-time student, also participating in research and internship opportunities. When I met with her towards the end, she said, I'm really hoping to land a job as a chemist. I have an interview next week at a place called Johnson Matthey, and I'm really hoping it goes well. Well, I interviewed her and met with her just a week or 2 before finals. Then she had that interview, and then graduation was a few weeks later. When she came with her family at graduation, I said, how are you doing? She said, I can't tell you how thrilled I am. You could see the smiles from ear to ear, the grins, because she landed that job at Johnson Matthey. Now, fast forward about 6 months after she graduated, I was presenting to a group of folk about our department and telling them about Borna and telling them about Tori. And actually, a parent came up to me after that and said, you know what? Tori works in my department at Johnson Matthey. And in fact, everything you said about Tori and her hard work and her dedication, it's absolutely true. She's a pleasure to work with, and I'm really glad to hear that she had a great experience here at University of the Sciences. So as a department chair, I was thinking, oh, this completes the circle. What a great story. Tori worked so hard and is now achieving her goals. But really, our students are able to achieve their goals not just by learning rigorous knowledge in chemistry and biochemistry and pharmaceutical chemistry, but also by having that sense of a cohort, a sense of a unit, that culture of support here within the department. They do that and they have a lot of fun with it. So while they're working on becoming chemists, as it says here on the slide, they also work on having a lot of fun together. And so down here on the right-hand side, what I want to show you was that the class gift that was given to us, I believe in 2008, our students, as they graduated, gave this cartoon picture, and really the subtitle of it was, "You are our superheroes." And so those are not the physiques of us faculty members, but those are the likenesses in cartoon form, if you will. But overall, our students are involved in a number of great activities, outreaches. Down here, they won what was called Chemistry Wars with chemistry departments at other local universities, trivia and simple experiments and things like that. And they took home the prize, the trophy. And so it's a great opportunity for students to really engage in those things. I see we're coming close to the end here, and I want to read you one quote and then show you a number of pictures of our graduates and their stories as we close. And again, we'll close with some questions and answers. But Vince Pagnotti completed his bachelor's degree here in 2005, and then his PhD in 2011. He went on to pursue what's called postdoctoral research, that is after you get your PhD, at the Center for Disease Control. And then since 2012, he's been a senior scientist at PPG Industries out near Pittsburgh. And Vince says, USciences is a small school and a tight-knit community that runs with the big dogs when it comes to quality. To me, it would be like living in Mayberry from the Andy Griffith Show, but with New York pizza and a world-class import store. I think it is a unique quality to have a university or program that is small enough to provide a community atmosphere with superb access to faculty, research, and multi-group collaboration, yet still provide a quality of instruction and research experience that meets or exceeds that of most large, well-known institutions. A blend of the down-home feeling of a small institution with the chic and quality of a major university is a rare find, especially in the world of science. But USciences somehow manages to fit this bill remarkably. And so really, our faculty and staff and students were really united by a student-centered focus. And therefore, our department is able to celebrate the success of our graduates year over year. And so here, in these last several slides, I want to, in kind of a rapid fire manner, show you the diversity of our students, the diversity of their expertise, the diversity of their career opportunities, all of that in the supportive environment here in the department. So they go on to pursue all sorts of industry opportunities, medical doctor opportunities, professor opportunities, scientist opportunities, head of biophysical research at Janssen Pharmaceuticals, Daryl Davis from 2001. But we also get to know our students really well. So let me highlight for here, Casey Kavanaugh. She was a transfer student as well. She double majored in biochemistry and pharmaceutical sciences. And apparently she was an avid streetcar racer. So we really get to know our students. We get to know you in a way that helps you define what are your goals and how will you achieve them. And again, our students and their successes go back over many decades. So Ross Smith here is now principal program manager at Microsoft. He graduated way back in 1999. So our students have long-term success based on the skills and the knowledge they gain here at the university. So again, I don't have time to go through all of these, but I just want to highlight to you again, the diversity of our students, the diversity of their interests, and the diversity of their now career goals. And really what we would like is, we'd like you to become our next student, you to become our next graduate, you to be able to discover your passion and to discover your future. And so with that, I will take any last questions. Thank you for joining today, and welcome you to email me with any additional questions. My email is n.baird, my name, Nathan Baird, n.baird@USciences. And I'm glad to be with you this evening. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be around for a few more minutes to answer any questions.
I'm just going to write your email into the chat box. So if any students want to reach out, they can copy and paste right there.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Great idea. Thank you all for joining our virtual session tonight. If you do have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A or the chat box. Otherwise, have a great evening.